Sadhguru Nath Maharaj Ki Jai, and welcome to Jagadambe Reads the Holy Books of India, ShrimadBhagavatam225. As you may remember, the people of the city kept staring and talking about the new arrivals. She is surely someone from the heavens who has strayed into this world. She is not earthly. So spoke the people in the city, and unheeding their words and their curiosity, Shakuntala walked forwards toward the palace. Several of the citizens followed the two of them, and soon they reached the gates of the palace. Shakuntala was trembling in every limb, and she did not know what she should do now. She stood still for a while, and with her free hand she stilled the beating of her heart. She felt her son's hand in hers, and she made up her mind to be brave for the sake of this son of hers, who was to be Lord of the world. Her father had told her so, and it would be so. It was necessary that she should have the courage to accost the king. She began to walk towards the assembly hall, where the king was said to spend his time granting audience to the people and listening to their grievances. Her mind was busy composing sentences with which she could address the king. Shyness overwhelmed her when she thought of Dushanta, and she asked herself, what shall I say when I stand before him? Shall I call him beloved or your majesty? Even as she was thinking on these things, she found that she had arrived in the council hall, holding her son who looked like the rising sun. Shakuntala entered the hall. 141. Dushanta the king. From a distance, Shakuntala raised her eyes and saw her dear beloved lord. The king was seated on the throne. He was like Indra, and her eyes rested longingly on his face, since they had been long absent from a sight of him. She was very happy to see him, and with a bent head she walked toward the throne. Having saluted him properly, she then propelled her son towards the throne and said, "My son, make your prostrations to the king, your father." After saying this, she stood silent, shyness stopping her from saying anything more. She stood there, and she was holding on to a pillar nearby, leaning against it and stealing glances at him. Her eyes were excessively bright with excitement, and she could hardly restrain herself. Sarvadamana prostrated before the king and stood by the side of his mother. His eyes were curious, questioning, and excited. "So, this is my father," he told himself. "He seems to be noble and so good. I would like to be with him." He looked at his mother, and she smiled at him. The king, in the meantime, did not know who they were and what they had come to him for. Her words, "Make your prostrations to the king your father," made him sit up. It was sheer impertinence on her part to talk like that. But he composed himself, and with a thoughtful look on his face, he spoke to her. "What can I do for you? What is your purpose in coming here to my presence, and especially with your son? Tell me what you want, and I will do what is right." Shakuntala's voice was very soft, and he could hardly hear her. She said, "May it please your majesty, I will certainly speak. This youth is your son, born of me. I have come to ask you to fulfill your promise to me and to crown him as the Yuvaraja. I need hardly remind you that in the ashram of the sage Kanva, you took my hand in yours and asked me to be your wife. Please remember those days, my lord, and accept your son and your wife who have been separated from you for these many years." Dushanta, a king with many loves, had long ago forgotten Shakuntala and her love. She had been just a moment in his love life, and it had been sunk in the depths of oblivion. When she spoke those soft, hesitant words, he began to remember hazily, and suddenly he remembered everything. But he did not want to admit it. Sadhguru Nath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you for coming. I hope you come again.